What's going on, YouTube? So I almost forgot. I told this company I would give them a specific shout out because they're doing God's work. They're doing amazing, amazing, amazing work. The name of the website, which is very descriptive of what they do, is called Imperfect Produce. Imperfectproduce.com. No spaces, no hyphens, just imperfectproduce.com. And as you might have figured, they deal with food that does not conform to the classic notion of what a mushroom should look like, or what a carrot should look like, or what a strawberry should look like, or asparagus, or a lemon, or a beet, etc., etc. And if you want to know why they're doing it, so they can save 16.7 million pounds of food, save 772 million gallons of water, $6.5 million on groceries, 42.3 millions of CO2 saved. So the water is really what gets me. Throwing food away is a crime. You know, it's not illegal, but it should be a crime. But I think they were saying something like 50 gallons of water for. Well, okay, let's just go ahead and do the math. So 770. Come on, number lock. 772 divided by 16.7. 46 gallons of water per pound of food. You know, depending on what you're growing, it's going to take, you know, maybe on the low end 30, 35, up to maybe 50, 60 almonds, so for example, like a really water intensive. So when you take a pound of food that isn't perfect and you throw it away, you're throwing away 50 gallons of water. Fresh water. Filtered water. Vegetables get water that you or I drink. They don't get reclaimed water typically. They don't get nasty water. They get the same water that comes out of the tap that you or I drink. So every pound of funny looking mushrooms and funny looking strawberries, I would eat that strawberry. It makes me hungry just looking at this. I'd eat all that food. In fact, the lady was trying to give me a box. I was like, look, I'm on the bicycle. I'm sorry. I can't help you out, but the prices are pretty reasonable, and of course it's going to a really, really great cause, and they deliver the box to your house, so that's kind of another really awesome thing too, right? But we were talking about, volunteering and trying to grow their company. They are a social enterprise business, I think I want to say. But I had to share this with you all, and I had to make a separate video shout out because it's so important that we stop wasting things. Stop wasting gas. Stop wasting food. Stop wasting water. And ironically, or maybe not ironically, by conserving food, we're conserving water. How interesting is that? You know, 1 to 42. So for every pound of food you save, you can save 40 pounds of water. Or 40 gallons of water. That is enormous. 40 gallons of water is enough for me to drink for a month. It's not enough for me to shower a month, but it's enough for me to drink and maybe flush toilets a month. I don't know. How many times do I flush a toilet a day? Maybe not enough to flush toilets. But the point is, every gallon helps. Every pound of food, every gallon helps. You know, it's such, they get it from local farms. And the thing that's really sad is that this market essentially doesn't exist. There's almost no one selling imperfect fruits and vegetables. So what happens? The farmers end up, if, maybe there's like a pig farm or something nearby, you can send it over there, but there's not a pig farm near every farm that has extra food. So it ends up just getting thrown away because you can't compost all of it. And people might say, well, why don't you just compost it? Well, if you're a big factory farm, you might not need that much compost. You might get your compost from somewhere else. You know, there's a lot of different reasons why it's not necessarily economically feasible for the farmers to do this. And you might say, well, why don't the farmers just sell it themselves? Well, getting clients and developing all that stuff, they're busy growing this stuff. They don't have time to really deal with developing a whole client base on, focused on this stuff. So they also can't necessarily afford to transport it. because the margins are relatively thin. And in case you're wondering, this is a for-profit company, and they are buying these imperfect vegetables from the farmer. So this is adding extra income to the farm. They're not just asking for donations for fruit, although I'm sure they would take them. But you want somebody to put you on their calendar, tell them you want to make them some money. And beyond that, can you imagine being a farmer and throwing away food? I honestly can't imagine. I would try to do something useful with this. I don't know what, dry it, sell little imperfect strawberry flakes. Like, if you had a bunch of imperfect strawberries, slice them up, put them in the food dehydrator, sell them as freeze-dried strawberries, guarantee there's a market for that, right? But not every farmer wants to go through with that. So just out of curiosity, what kind of jobs are they looking for right now? Few open positions, probably a lot of drivers. Accounts payable, oh gosh darn accounting. Acquisition, data analyst, growth marketer, head of growth, delivery driver. They got stuff going on in Seattle, Chicago, Milwaukee, Indianapolis, San Francisco, Portland, of course, right? So how cool would it be? So if you're in any of these cities, feel free to check them out. I'm beginning to think as I get older that it's really less about the money you make and more about what you contribute to society. And if you're going to help society conserve food, conserve water, help make farmers get a little more money, provide great jobs to, look at all these people, look how happy they are. They have a meaningful job delivering delicious, edible food to people that otherwise would have been thrown away. They're basically selling trash. Now, it's not trash, it's perfectly edible, delicious food, but before they contact the farmers that they're working with, that would have been trash. And now it's not. And that's kind of the beauty of capitalism, is that capitalism encourages, it's sort of like the double-edged sword of capitalism, perhaps. Capitalism tells the farmer selling a perfect broccoli makes you more money than an imperfect broccoli. But capitalism also says if that imperfect broccoli is still edible and there's nothing wrong with it, there's a market for that too. You just need someone to develop that market. So really, really cool stuff. Let's check out their blog. So of course I'm more than happy to do a shout out for them, because just a really awesome thing, and the way, in case you're wondering, when are they going to come to my city, the way I actually spoke with the lady about this, spoke with Ginkgo about this, and she said that they wait until they kind of get a little bit of market built up, and then once the market is built up to a certain level, then they sort of like expand into that area. Because, if you only have 5 clients in, let's say, Boise, Idaho, you can't really justify hiring a full-time worker to deliver a box of food once a week to 5 clients. It doesn't really work like that. But if you can get 50 clients signed up, yeah, maybe that's good for a couple days of part-time work or something, right? So, of course, you need the supply too. It has to be locally sourced and locally delivered. They're not taking these boxes from Portland and, shipping them to Chicago. They're taking the food from Portland farms and distributing it to Portland people, and taking food from Seattle farms and distributing it to Seattle people. Check out their frequently asked questions. Does ugly produce taste the same as normal produce? Yeah, it probably does. A carrot's still a carrot. Are you taking this produce that would have gone to food banks otherwise? Where did the produce go before Imperfect started? That's a good question. How is Imperfect so much cheaper than other produce companies and CSAs, which are like community service? What's a CSA? Something. Oh, I can't remember what it stands for. Community supported agriculture. Okay. What do you do with surplus or inedible produce? Good question. How do I customize my order? And then there's some other delivery, billing, my account, stuff like that. So quite a legitimate company, quite a legitimate website. Um, you can pick each item that goes in your box. That's kind of cool. The perfect imperfect box. That's funny. But I don't. Presumably, this is a picture. Presumably, they didn't go to the store, buy a bunch of fruit just for the photo op, right? Hopefully, this is all food that came from came from their farms, and it probably is. She was showing me a bag of brown rice, and she said that the farmer couldn't sell the brown rice because something like 2% of it wasn't like fully developed or fully open or something. And I'm not exactly sure if that means you have to pick through it or if some of the rice you cook is going to be a little grittier than the other, but like we can see, like this pepper is like looks a little bit funky. I'm sure that you know it's kind of a shame that we've gotten used to the perfect carrot and the perfect avocado and the perfect bell pepper. I mean, you grow a tomato at home, and no matter what it looks like, you grow it at home, and it's going to be a delicious tomato. They put these little googly eyes in the vegetables. If you grow a carrot in a garden and it looks funny, it's still going to taste like a carrot. In fact, I just had a carrot for a little snack because I'm pretending to be a rabbit right now, apparently. So anyways, no reason for me to make this a 20-minute video, but I just thought what they were doing was so awesome, and I wanted to, she was saying like, oh, I want to give you a box and to help you spread the word. And I said, look, I'll make a video and spread the word. Don't worry about me spreading the word. I always try to spread the good word, and saving water, saving vegetables, good, honest run business. I mean, this is what Earth Day is about, is stuff like this. It's not, it's not about some of the other stuff that I saw at the fair, but that's all right. Like, I know Netflix decided to sponsor a booth, and they had like, I don't know, troll and horse cartoons. I don't know. I'm like, what are you doing here, Netflix? What do you have to do with Earth Day? What does a Trolls movie have to do with Earth Day? I don't know. But that's nice of Netflix to sponsor a booth. So anyways, feel free, if they are in your area, to hit them up. Definitely recommend it. If they're not in your area, hit them up too and say, hey, I would love if you all are in my area. If you have some friends that you think might be interested in this kind of thing, if there's a lot of agriculture in your area. I don't know how many people it takes to kind of to get them to go into a new market, but presumably if they keep experiencing good growth and they're making money, they will, probably, continue to grow. So, thank you for watching this video. Again, this is imperfectproduce.com. And they take food that is not perfect from farmers, and we source from farms directly. We customize a box. We deliver the box to your home, and you get healthy, delicious produce and save money. And we have some testimonials here. Eat Ugly with Us. That's funny. They've been featured in Business Insider, Forbes, New York Times. Amina from Los Angeles. Oh, wow. The testimonials are going so fast, I can't even read them. I should maybe send them a message like, hey, slow down your testimonials. Organic produce is far outside the budget. We're blessed that their church's food bank gathers food from stores that carry whole organic foods, but we don't get fresh produce often. Imperfect has been an answer to a prayer for me. Being able to order fresh produce weekly will help me build strong, healthy kiddos. Exactly. I ate a lot of fruits and vegetables when I was growing up. I did not eat a lot of junk food or microwave food or oven prepared food, and I think I came out okay. Most of that's DNA, but I think a good portion of my health and my lifestyle is from getting raised on healthy food. And as many of you know, the healthier you eat, the more active lifestyle that you live, the better you will feel and the more clear you will be able to think. It's really sort of a full circle. Well, that's all for now, YouTube. Check out Imperfect Produce, really, really cool website, doing really, really cool stuff. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, eat your vegetables and fruits, even if they do look funny, and keep prepping.